Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name is Frey. I work as a freelance Flutter developer, and I'm here to talk about two solutions that we have for managing Flutter versions on our machines, namely FVM and Puro. I currently work at a company called Robaus. Robaus is situated close from here in Zwevenhem, where we actually aim to provide the best possible software for the construction and installation sectors, which is our marketing pitch, of course. So as I said, we're located in Zwevenhem, close by, and as you might have guessed, we work with Flutter, amongst other technologies as well. We're always looking for new talent, so definitely check us out. Now, we've been working for quite a while with Flutter at Robaus. I actually went into the Git history of our oldest project, and I found this initial commit. I may or may not have changed the commit message there a bit to make it more cool. But we started with Flutter somewhere beginning 2019. So in June 2019, does anybody have an idea which was the stable Flutter version back then? Does anybody want to take a guess?
Right around 2, I think. No?
It's a bit earlier than that.
19.
It's a lot earlier than that. So it was 1.6.3, and now 6 years later, we're already at 3.29.2, and there have been a lot of breaking changes. It's typical of Flutter to introduce breaking changes. They're not afraid to not actually follow specific semantic versioning, but they document everything well on the developer page. And I just counted all of those, and it was around 150, but it only goes back to 1.17, so there must be more as well. Anyway, we've seen with the projects a lot of breaking changes over the years. Some of these are rather small, some of these could be a lot bigger. For example, migrating to null safety. I don't know if everyone experienced that joyful ride, but so anyway, when you want to upgrade the version of Flutter that you use in your apps, you may not always be ready to support the latest version yet. And definitely when you're working on multiple apps with multiple people running on multiple machines, of course, you need some way of managing that. And this is where version management for Flutter comes into play. Who here uses some form of version manager for the Flutter SDK? Only a few? Who uses FVM, for example? All right. Does somebody use anything else than FVM? Somebody use Puro, maybe custom commands?
The Sidekick one?
Maybe, yeah. Sidekick they have Flutter wrapper as well, and
It is from FVM.
yeah.
So Sidekick is basically just the user interface to interact with.
Oh yeah. It's FVM under the hood then. Yeah.
It's from the same author as well.
All right. So. But we've heard about FVM a lot. So FVM has been the de facto standard for quite a while now. It's something that the people in the community actually brought. Flutter does not support version management themselves. But most people jump to FVM. It just basically creates multiple copies of the Flutter SDK on your machine. And then you can pin a specific project to a version and make sure that it runs on every machine with the exact version of Flutter. You can check out more about that on fvm.app. So if you're not using any way of managing your Flutter versions, this would be the go-to to try out first. But recently there's been a new kid on the block called Puro. Now Puro tries to solve a few of the issues that FVM might have, or I wouldn't specifically call them issues, but potential improvements. And Puro specifically aims to use less network bandwidth and less disk space as well. Besides that, it also has automatic IDE configuration. This was the first thing that brought me to Puro. At Robaus, we don't actually care if you use VS Code or IntelliJ or Android Studio, but switching versions with FVM isn't that easy using IntelliJ, because you manually have to still set the version. Puro takes care of that. It does it in a little weird, nifty way, but it works most of the time. There's some other cool stuff that it provides. There's a REPL for Dart, so if you want to execute some Dart code in your terminal, you can do that with Puro on a specific version. And Puro changes like conceptually how these versions are managed. You basically create an environment. You can call it like, I don't know, like our production version, and then you give like that environment a specific version, and then multiple apps can actually listen to your environment called production version. So you can switch out like that. More information can be found on puro.dev. Now, the way that Puro actually is able to use up less bandwidth and disk space is by reusing parts of the SDK. Throughout different versions of the Flutter SDKs, there are definitely going to be some areas that could be reused. And Puro tries to be smart about that and uses object deduplication to actually reduce that size to the lowest possible. Now, I tried it up on more than 0 versions. It's 10, but I think it's cut off on the screen. So on 10 versions, I noticed that FVM takes about 13 gigabytes of disk space, while Puro only needs 9. So that is a significant difference and could come to play if you're dealing with CI environments that need a lot of data and bandwidth, and you want to reduce that number. Now, because Puro uses these nifty techniques to accomplish this, things might break. And what I noticed is that Puro currently has quite some stability issues. Basically, on almost every version that is published of the Flutter SDK, I noticed a bug ticket in Puro. So while FVM just takes a copy, it's very stable like that. Puro still has some issues with that. But the silver lining is that generally these are all solved within a day. So I think there's potential for this to get better, but at the moment it could be a little bit less stable. One thing that bothers me a bit more is that currently you're not able to pin a specific version to a project with Puro. Puro works with these local environments and doesn't have a way to actually share that with your team. This is something that you have to provide yourself. And it holds you back from sharing a specific Flutter version for a project with your team, but also with your CI/CD. So you don't want to work locally on, let's say, 3.20, and then your CI starts building at a completely different version, and you get problems in production. So Puro doesn't offer that, but you can make it work with customized tooling. So to come to the conclusion here, I think Puro is a new tool that has a lot of potential and definitely reduces the network bandwidth and disk space. But at the moment, I personally prefer the stability that FVM gives, but this could definitely be interesting for people who are having issues with data limitations. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me during the meetup, or let's connect.